Hello everybody, and just here and welcome back to Shield Hero Season 2, Episode 10. With only 2 episodes separate, well, 3 episodes counting this one, separating us from the end of the series. It's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen in this episode. Also, another thing that interests me is that it's named Katana Hero. So we're either gonna fight Katana Hero, or Katana Hero is going to join us, or something's going to happen about the Katana Hero. We heard of him, but we don't know much of him. What else? In the last episode, Naofumi finally retrieved Philo, so at least one of his companions is back. And we got that another tidbit of information that if there's no direct match when it comes to races, then they get transformed into like the races of the current world. I wonder if that's going to have some deeper consequences besides just Philo transforming from a Philolial into that, what was it, like fairy bird thing? I forgot its name. But yeah, I wonder if more things will actually change between the worlds. What if the shields that Naofumi gained in this world will transform into some others when he goes back, right? And of course, at the end, we also got that scene of Raphtalia being carted off to somewhere in the mountains, somewhere in the cold mountains. Which makes me wonder if maybe today's episode is going to be told from Raphtalia's perspective. Yeah, that'd actually be interesting, because I know that the source material did mention what Raphtalia did during the time that she was separated from Naofumi, but I don't know if it was like actually chapters written from her perspective, or was it just a passing mention. So I don't know how they're gonna do it. It's possible that indeed this episode will be told from Raphtalia's perspective, or very well might be from Naofumi's, because they are preparing to raid a certain place in search for Raphtalia. There is also the question of chronology. Has Raphtalia been already carted off to somewhere, and Naofumi and his merry band are going after a completely different place? Or rather a place where Raphtalia no longer is? Or was the scene at the end just a flashback to what happened before, and now, after Raphtalia was in those mountains being experimented on or whatever, she was transported back to this place that Naofumi is now raiding? I don't know. Hard to tell. But yeah, I think that's about it. And I can't wait to see this episode. I can't wait to know about this world and this multiverse. This arc has really been a treat when it comes to world building. I'm a sucker for world building, and yeah, I really very much enjoy finally getting some information, finally getting some answers, and I even enjoy the brand new questions that are posed. So I'm overall very much enjoying this current arc, and I hope Season 3, we know that it's been confirmed, but the release date is still TBD, I believe. I hope that the third season will be more of this and less of the Spirit Tortoise, essentially, is what I wanted to say. And yeah, that's it, except one more thing. Today is my birthday, so to celebrate, there we go. We're gonna have a cake on screen. I hope you don't mind. But besides the cake, you also get your subs, and I get my sound. And I have to remind you of supporting me if you want by sharing my videos or directly on Patreon if you want. I signed up for Throne, but they don't do business in Poland yet, so it's not a thing. Oh well, nothing lost. Nothing major lost, because I never had it, so it's not a loss technically if I don't have it, right? Okay, I'm gonna stop babbling. And we're just gonna start watching. Refocus. There we go. Episode 10 of Tate no Yusha no Nariagari Season 2, version by Subspace, as always, is gonna be starting in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, we are at the Snowy Mountains, starting where we left off. And it seems to be Raphtalia's perspective. Latte. Iced latte. With roasted almond milk. Yeah, bad memories, huh? Yeah, but not at you. He's angry at your captors. Hella mad. Determination, there we go. Some magic bars that sap your power. And who might you be? Oh! Lark, Therese! Yeah, it's Raphtalia. Ah, Lark, you fucking meathead. You know, I miss having 24 episodes of Shield Hero. Honestly, season 1 had 24 episodes and it was perfect. And we also got a very nice updated opening halfway through. When it comes to single course series, they rarely, if ever, do have more openings, so that's a little bit of a waste. I think I still like the first opening of Shield Hero the most. The second was also decent, I guess. This one, I guess I like the first one the most, the second one second most, and the third one third most. So, perfect order. Although this ending of this opening is cool. I like it. Okay, so it is told from Raphtalia's perspective. Enemies? Nah, they have a temporary truce, let's say. Yeah. Yep. Indeed. Yep. What can you do, though? Well, about that. Interesting how it seems like just regular rope can hold them. You would have thought that they'd be able to, I don't know, summon their weapons in a way that cuts the ropes or something. Oh. They probably don't want to get attention of the guards or something. Glass is weak. Okay, so it constantly drains your power. Guess you gotta get your hands on a talisman like that. Glass being a spirit person, yeah. It's not their mana or stamina that gets drained, it's their very life. And she got hot and bothered and tired. Yep, yep. How? Hmm. I might be able to do something, it should just fucking break through the wall. That's something, alright? uh... Oh, illusion that makes them think they're gone, so they open the door. But everybody's actually here, and they attack the guard. Grab the talisman. Yeah, give it to Glass. That was fast. We're 7 minutes in and they've already broken out of the prison. Holy shit. Are they speeding it up compared to the source material? That's the vibe I'm getting. Yeah. And don't forget that Kyo has full control over the hourglasses, it seems. Sounds like a plan. So now Fumi's planning to ride the place where there's nobody. Unless, of course, there is some chronological changes. In her boob pockets, where else? Oh, the flag. A little sword. A tanto. Probably a tanto. Or a wakizashi. Yep, so they need a lot of nutrients to grow. She doesn't have boobs, it's just crystals that make the shape. She's actually completely flat. Yeah, I think it's a wakizashi. Because she leveled up. She's so old, her joints hurt. Perhaps a katana? Is Raphtalia about to become a Katana Hero? Is that where we're going? Yep, probably. Glass being a cinnamon bun. Who would have thought? Probably Kyo has control over it. Oh. Oh. So you just step forward if you want a vassal weapon, and the vassal weapon either chooses you or not? Interesting. I thought Katana Hero already existed. But maybe, like, genuinely, Raphtalia is going to become the Katana Hero. Okay, how does the process look? Ah, you just draw it. If you manage to draw it, you're the hero. If you don't, you don't. Good old Arthurian method. But there was nobody worthy of it? It will choose Raphtalia. No doubt. Whoever comes forward won't actually be able to draw it. Calling it now. Ah, this dude. This slimy motherfucker. Nope. Sparks? Raphtalia. Oh! Oh, it just teleported to Raphtalia! He just teleported to her! I didn't know that's how it works. Okay. Okay, well, you were chosen. That destroyed the seal, and that's why she disappeared from Naofumi's thing. The katana chose her, you motherfucker, yeah! It's not yours. It didn't choose you. Yeah, exactly. She's going to run alone? Why? I'm assuming because a vassal hero cannot be enslaved or something like that. And she immediately grew into full adulthood. I guess the katana just gives you free levels. Or acquiring it made her complete a quest and she gained a few levels out of that. Yeah, shoes too small. Clothes too small, shoes too small. Yeah, it's not gonna be easy to find each other now that there's no crest connecting them. I'm guessing that's gonna be the very first thing he does. Where are you going? Dragon Hourglass? That's very dramatic for no reason. I'm gonna be your katana. Whomst. Yep. Thank you. Someone's gonna stitch that up. You have the vassal weapon. I mean... Exactly. Fight! Fight your way out, Raphtalia. Or are you just beelining it for the... hourglass? Yeah, only now do you realize it? She literally is. That's exactly how it works. The weapon chose her. She literally is the hero. With your non-vassal sword... Come on, one slash. Oh. She stripped him of his magic? Cut up his soul or something like that? Like her ephemeral sword that she used to use? I mean, copies, so... Seeing how we're in an Asian-inspired world, they're probably Chinese knockoffs. Should be very easy to dispatch. She really got into her role immediately, didn't she? As I said, Chinese knockoffs. Okay, time to kill. You're cut up, you're cut in half, just don't know that yet. It's not yours. Fat chance. And so is the Katana Hero. It clearly doesn't. No, she's not. Why would she? You're just a random dude screaming random bullshit at her. Oh, that's a big one. Is that the original Byakko? Who's gonna help her? Naofumi or Glass and her team? Naofumi. There we go. And Philo. I guess Philo was using the fact that she is now able to fly because she's a bird, not a flightless bird. So she was able to spot Raphtalia from high up. And yeah, hunting hero dispatches of a beast as a hunting hero should. Was that the original Byakko? Okay. Headpats? Or a hug? This looks like a hug situation to me. Yeah, but she's still gonna continue following you. It's her choice. And as I said, it's a hug situation. Okairi. Okay, so the last two episodes will be going after Kyo. The full team. Okay. That was a very oddly paced episode, I'll be honest with you. Really feels like it should have been at least 3. Not gonna lie. Hmm. Then again, maybe if it was more episodes, then some of them would be just a bunch of talking heads. I don't know, hard to tell. We're gonna go through this episode again, of course, as we always do. And maybe I'm gonna figure out what's going on here. And yeah, Raphtalia became the Katana Hero. Without much flair, without much fanfare. I think I know what doesn't quite sit right with me about this episode. The things, the events that could have benefited from some additional fanfare didn't have it. And the bits that were very plain were presented in a very overdramatic manner. Kizuna. Okay, episode 11, Kizuna. Interesting. Yeah, I think that's it. Because there was like Raphtalia got her vassal weapon without anything happening. He just got it and bailed, and it was very under, I don't know, not underwhelming, but under dramatic, I guess maybe. And then you have Raphtalia climbing the stairs, having a heartfelt speech where there is no need for any. Kind of mixed up their priorities, it seems to me. Right. We have a theory that needs to be crossed out, I believe. Okay, yeah. I can see too. Some change in Raphtalia made her no longer the same. That removed her from the party. That removed her slave crest. She became a Katana hero, a vassal hero. So that's the change. Makes sense. And Raphtalia doesn't need help. She didn't need help escaping. She needed help fighting the Byakko. So I'm gonna give it the yellow treatment. Because she kinda didn't need help. She kinda did. But yeah, that sums up the theories, so now let's go through this episode again, shall we? I was wondering from the very beginning what's that weird glow on those bars, but we quickly learned that it is some magic that saps your power. Makes sense, makes for a genuinely great way to imprison someone, especially people who rely a lot on their powers. Bad memories. Very bad memories. But she has a new resolve in her. Right? She's not panicking, she's not crying, she's not despairing. She has a resolve. And she steeled herself to eventually escape. And I don't know where does Raphtalia's self-deprecation come from? Maybe it was explored more in the source material, but it really doesn't make sense to me that she would think that, oh, you're angry, will you want me again? I just want to see you, even if you reject me, even if you don't want me to be your sword, I will forever be your sword, even if you don't want that. Will you welcome me? No, you probably won't, you will tell me to fuck off. Where is that coming from? I don't know. I don't get it. Honest. Yeah, the power is sapped, and what a coincidence. It's Lark and his merry team. This episode took a little bit of a, maybe not a nosedive, but just a little bit of a dive when it comes to art quality, I noticed. All the people here seem ever so slightly off model, don't they? Especially their faces. Lark seems much younger. Therese's face and her eyes especially are like different shape. There's a weird perspective to glass. I don't know. Probably one of the episodes that was outsourced, or at least the scenes in the prison were, because of the darkness, they thought that no one's gonna notice much. Like, look at Therese. Her eyes are, I believe, much bigger than they used to be. Lark's face is much younger, much more round. And yeah, you're enemies, but we're still under the truce. I like how Glass, actually everybody, is having second thoughts about being enemies. I like it. They are all essentially, oh, yeah, right, awkward. We really are enemies. Like, I'd rather we weren't, but shit. If only the circumstances were different, right? We could have been the bestest of friends. If only not for this whole one world dies, one world perseveres situation. If we were of one world, or if we were of two separate worlds, but there wasn't a situation that makes us choose only one to survive. If only that wasn't the case, we would have been a party. We would have traveled the world together. I'm really getting those vibes from them. I like it. Really, really do. We need to get out of here as fast as we can. Lark has a bit more of a chin. Therese's eyes are a little bit overly rendered. I don't mind it that much. Her head shape, chin shape is also different. Very pointy, very... Very outsourcey, kinda, if it makes sense. Like, there is a distinct look to faces when it comes to low quality Asian in general art, Japanese art, Korean, and so on. If you look at absolute garbage, bottom of the bin kind of yaoi manga and dojins and whatnot, everybody has huge hands and spindly limbs, but they also all have very pointy chins, right? Like, point here, and it distinctly reminds me of it. Their faces remind me of bad yaoi art. Their face shapes. And I can't unsee it. Maybe it's just me, but I really cannot unsee it, and I think this is because of the outsourcing. We know that a good chunk of the production, well, actually we don't know what chunk exactly of the production, but we know that some of it was outsourced because there's an outsourcing studio listed as one of the creators of the show, so wouldn't surprise me if those prison scenes were actually outsourced. Yeah, everything was a cure trap. It absolutely was. Infinite Labyrinth. Yeah, we should start by going over what we know, it seems. I have a distinct feeling that they spent in the source material, it put much more time into this prison moment, this prison mini arc, I guess you could say, where they are actually talking over the things they know, not just a picture of the prison, we're back, and oh, we stopped talking about it, we just know everything now. They actually did exchange information. And I think it was cut. I might be wrong. Like, if you're familiar with the source material, do correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the feeling I'm getting. It kinda sorta makes sense, because if it really was like half a volume of the light novel of them just talking, exchanging information, then sure, you probably wouldn't want an entire episode being essentially a recap mixed with talking heads just talking about things. I know I wouldn't like it. I've watched the first few episodes of Recreators. I just dropped it when it came to the exposition episode. It was, I don't know, episode 4 or something like that, or 3 or 4, something like that, where they were just sitting around the table and just throwing exposition. Exposition. This is how it works, this is who I am, this is who this is who that is, this is what I do, this is what you do, this is what happened, this is what happens, this is what happens if, yada 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 yada. I distinctly remember the most active and exciting moment of that episode being when someone came through the door carrying a bag of takeout. That was the most activity there was in that episode. And that prompted me to drop it, like it's hot. And I wouldn't want it to happen in Shield Hero. Of course, you can make exposition episodes actually decent. I can't think of any examples off the top of my head, but that's probably because exposition episodes done well don't actually feel like exposition episodes, right? I think that's it. So I understand why they cut them talking, if they did cut them talking, but I still would have liked at least just a little bit more. Should have checked that too. And yeah, Glass is slowly coming together, to like at least Raphtalia and perhaps the rest of Naofumi's party as well, soon enough. Her icy exterior is slowly melting and the cinnamon bun emerges from underneath. I very much like this little bit of a gap moe to her, a little bit of a tsundere-ish approach. I really enjoy Glass in this season. I really do. Yeah, apparently it's a temporal prison that you cannot escape out of, but what do you know? Naofumi finds a way. And this is a prison of exhaustion. That's actually genuinely a great idea for a prison. Your prisoners won't have the strength to escape if they're constantly exhausted. It genuinely makes perfect sense. It reminds me of those, like, prisons that are... You mostly see them in fantasy, but there are also, I think, some real-world examples where there's no wall, there's no bars, but the prison itself is just... the prison cell itself is just a shelf on top of a chasm. There are no walls, there are no bars, but you still cannot escape because you just can't fly. Right? And they carry you over there. Either they, I don't know, cart you down on a rope or something, or they put a temporary bridge and they take it down. And there's no way for you to escape. I like unconventional ideas for prisons. Because, let's be honest, just a regular dump dungeon with a cut and bars, it gets boring, it gets stale. Cool ideas for prisons are cool. And of course the guards are exempt to that. And yeah, it really must be draining Glass a lot. They just lose their strength, but Glass loses her very life. You can take a vassal weapon from its wielder. It works exactly as cardinal weapons do. Our abilities are weakened, but we can still use them. Yes. Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly. And that's one hell of a weakened ability. I really was expecting them to spend just a little bit more time, I don't know, going over the plan or something like that. But no, they just immediately bust out of there. Your illusion magic is incredible. Yeah, illusion magic, very useful. Grab the talisman, and I guess the guard was immediately so exhausted that he didn't even raise alarm. The exhaustion of working 3 shifts just hit him like a truck and he just fell asleep on the spot. I don't know. Sure, Glass got her power back, and I'm guessing she just murdered that guard, but I don't know. Yeah, they got to see cool. Let's try and get your level as high as we can on the way. And then we'll head to Sickle together. Yep, sounds like a plan. And that's my headcanon now. That's my headcanon. Therese is actually flat as a board. Her boob area is just filled with gems that she keeps there for a proper occasion. Yeah, that's a different store. I thought for a moment that Raphtalia was reminded of the flag that Naofumi made for her and put in her dish, in her dinner, when she first ate. No, it wasn't the first time she ate. Or was it? Can't remember, but you know what I mean. And this is just inverse colors. And but no, apparently she just spotted a clothing store and they went to get some clothes. And a tanto or a wakizashi. I can never tell the difference between them, especially on the scale of Raphtalia. I know that tanto is the shortest, so it's probably not a tanto. Tanto is more like a knife, wakizashi is more like a short sword, and katana is longer. It's probably a wakizashi. And yeah, she's growing and she needs nutrients from somewhere to allow her growth, right? She's bigger and her joints already hurt. A little bit of a nice moment of weakness from Glass, nice moment of tenderness. Yeah, it's kind of embarrassing. I really like Glass's portrayal in this arc. I know I said it, but I'm gonna say it time and again. She's so awkward, she's so cute, she's such a pure cinnamon bun. I can't believe they're the enemies. I really honestly hope. Do I have it noted somewhere? Don't think I do. Yeah, I don't think I do, because it's something more long term that I don't think is going to actually happen in this season, or perhaps not even in the next season. I really hope that in the end, eventually, they decide to join forces and go against the very powers that be that cause the waves and require one of the worlds to perish. I really hope they will, in the end, go for a third solution. Either move all inhabitants of both worlds into one of them and let that other world die, or find a way to stop the waves themselves permanently, so that no other world, no other conjunction of worlds is ever in danger of being annihilated, and so that never two worlds are pitted against each other. I hope this is actually genuinely the ultimate resolution that the author of the light novel is going for. Because, again, it seems like there are multiverses within this multiverse of multiverses where the waves are not even a thing. Right? In Naofumi's original world, in Japan, that's just not a thing. So I'm assuming it's something. The waves are something. It's not just the way it is. It's not just a force of nature. It's something that has a source, that has a cause, that can be manipulated and perhaps even defeated. Like White Frost in The Witcher 3. Something of this kind. I really have a sneaking suspicion that's what they're doing. And yeah, vassal weapon chooses its wielder. That's very distinctly different from how cardinal weapons work. Cardinal heroes are just isekai'd here. Vassal weapons, vassal heroes, are chosen from the people of this world. Interesting. We have a full confirmation that this is actually how it works, but I didn't know that the weapon actually chooses its wielder. Although, in hindsight, how else could it have looked? A child is born, they cry out for the first time, and a warhammer just immediately appears in their crib? Probably not. Probably not. So it makes sense that the way they are chosen is by the weapon itself, the weapon already having existed somewhere. Why would that be a problem for Lark? Yeah, it doesn't care. It's a fellow vassal weapon wielder, I've got to take a look at him at least. And of course it's this random dude. The vassal weapon itself chooses its holder. And of course it's Kazuki. I was thinking initially that it really is a situation of like Sword in Stone, where everybody who thinks they are worthy of it, they can approach and try to grab it, and he approaches it, tries to grab it, tries to pull it, and it just won't budge. And I don't know, some priest comes over and says, "Oh, you are not the chosen, leave this place." And then Raphtalia just randomly decides to come over and grab it, and it chooses her immediately. Or maybe everybody leaves for the night, and Raphtalia feels some inner pull towards that weapon and sneaks into this gazebo at night, touches this weapon, and it immediately joins her, immediately chooses her. Maybe it looked different in the source material, I don't know. But it just teleported. Why even have a candidate send a random dude to touch it, and it's just gonna teleport to whoever's the chosen one? if that's how it works. Or maybe it's through proximity, I don't know. What is interesting, though, is that a vassal weapon of this world has chosen a person of another world as its wielder. That tells me vassal weapons, maybe not so much cardinal weapons, but vassal weapons aren't limited by world. And that's interesting. I don't know what exactly could be the connotations of that. What would be the consequences of this fact, but it's interesting to know. Because it could also potentially mean that most of the vassal weapons eventually find their way into just one world. And then another world is left at a disadvantage. Because one world has 14 vassal weapons and the other has 2. Right? Interesting, very interesting. She just decided to run away on her own. Why? Why not with everybody else? I don't know. Why did the crest disappear? I'm guessing because she's a hero now, and a hero cannot be enslaved. I don't know, maybe. Or maybe it's because she's a newborn hero. She's not the same person she was, and the person that was enslaved was Raphtalia, and the person she is now is the Katana Hero, so it's not the same person, or, you know, something like that. I don't know, maybe it was explained actually in the source material, maybe it wasn't, maybe it hasn't been explained yet. I don't know. I'm left to speculate. And Lark just doesn't give a fuck about the whole situation. He's very, he's the first one to explain what's going on. Oh yeah, I mean, I told you, Raphtalia, you can't get rid of it. It's your vassal weapon. It's with you forever. And why does Raphtalia decide to run on her own? I don't know. I have no clue. Why did she immediately grow into an adult? I don't know. Again, I have absolutely no clue why, how it worked. Did she get a boost from the previous owners of this weapon? Does a vassal weapon store XP of its previous owners, or at least a part of it? So that whoever gets that weapon gets an immediate power boost? So that they're not just a random guy with a weapon, but instead they are a powerful random guy with a weapon? Could be. I don't know. There's still so much we don't know about vassal weapons and cardinal weapons. Naofumi Filo. And here we going into this over dramatic, very poignant, or however you pronounce it, scene. Just once more, I want to see Naofumi-sama again. He may not pat me on the head anymore. But still, he may reject me, but I'll be your sword again. Like, I don't know what to think of it. Maybe there was a bigger reason for the drama of it all in the source material again, because this just seems completely out of nowhere. She got a vassal weapon. She's a hero now. She's much more powerful than she used to be. She can be much bigger of an asset to Naofumi's team. And she's like, oh, whoa, it's me. Why? And I understand. I really don't get it. Thankfully, there's a Miko that helps Raphtalia. She has a nice figure, doesn't she? And yeah, she is a vassal hero. That's all the proof that anybody needs. She has the weapon and it cannot be taken from her, literally. She couldn't have stolen it. The weapon chooses its wielder. And I feel strong too. And suddenly, Raphtalia went from a complete and utter over-dramatic mess to a complete and utter badass. I apologize for my lack of strength. Forgive me, master, but I must go all out at least this once. Swing! That's literally what it is. That's literally what it is. Except, I guess she cut his spirit and not his body. That's why it's not blood, it's just... it's scum. Or maybe it felt so good he just came instantly. Come, sword. Sorry, I had to. Or is it some weird-ass fucking attempt at censoring blood? Is it a weird attempt at censoring blood? To make it turn into cum? Because I know that in Chinese media, they started censoring blood in anime and whatnot by making it white. And it doesn't make things look any better. It just looks like cum. Copies, of course, Chinese knockoffs. What did she say? Oh, you're going to do the same thing Kyo does. And I'm guessing he really doesn't like Kyo for some reason. And there's blood here, so I'm guessing it really wasn't blood. It really was scum or spirit power or something. And she suddenly... There's still time to reconsider. I will draw my blade only if I have to. Instant blade missed. Teleports behind you, nothing personal, kid. And it's like that Kill Bill scene where he's really just sliced up in dices, but the slices are so fine that he still can keep himself together, and as soon as he moves, just falls apart. It's a whiplash. Raphtalia's character in this episode really gives me whiplash. Twice. First it was she had the sheer determination to escape and to fight with Naofumi and to gain levels and to find him and whatnot. Then she became almost a sobbing mess of over-dramatic self-doubt and self-deprecation. And now all of that is gone and she's a bona fide badass. I don't know. That's what made me think that this episode should have been like 2 or 3. Raphtalia should have had a little bit more time to grow, you know? To grow both into her self-doubt and then to grow out of it. Because right now it seems like she got new clothes. The Miko told her, "You're the hero." And Raphtalia was like, "Oh yeah, I'm a hero. Duh, I should be a badass now." And she became a badass instantly. Not a huge fan of the whiplash it's giving me. I don't think it's the last where we're seeing of Kazuki. Or whatever his name is. Kazuki will reappear. Maybe he's gonna have a whole arc of bringing him to the side of good or whatever. He seems to be Kyo's enemy to some degree, right? He wants to put one over on him. He says to Raphtalia so that she shouldn't mention his name. Don't talk about him. I need a vassal weapon to kill Kyo. He seems like a very angsty, very emo, but potentially a future ally. And I wonder. Shield Hero is coming to take revenge for Lost Sun. It's a little too much power. There's a limit? And you use like one attack on Kyo, on Kazuki, two attacks on Kazuki, one attack on the Chinese knockoffs, and she's out of power? Maybe the fight was much longer in the source material, where she actually had to battle it out. I don't know. I guess there's the added strain of her having to grow up immediately and whatnot. Then there's this, completely out of nowhere. Why? How? I don't know. I'm guessing that's the actual Byakko, not another copy. I have no clue what it's doing here, but it is here. And Raphtalia, another whiplash. She's just immediately content with giving up. She's not even trying to, you know, stand on shaking legs with shaking hands, grasping her katana, being like, no, even if it kills me, I need to meet Naofumi-sama again. No, she just, oh yeah, I guess I did my best. Guess, fuck my resolve to meet Naofumi again. Come on. At least make it fast, if you could. If I could ask you to grant me a painless death, I'd be happy. Another point of whiplash. And of course, Naofumi saves the day. Hunting skill, blood flower strike. And Kizuna, blushing Kizuna for some reason, saves the day. I've returned. Yes, she did. I guess the soldiers no longer look for them. They just forgot. Next episode is titled Kizuna. I'm assuming Kizuna will be reunited with Glass, because Glass, Therese, and Lark are still in the city. So I'm assuming they're gonna meet up. Like, Lark and his team are probably looking for Raphtalia right now. I don't know. Which means probably episode 12 will be the clash with Kyo. Unless Kyo will be a multi-season villain, where they're gonna clash with him in this season, but Kyo is going to return in season 3 somehow as a persistent villain. Oh, I don't know. This very much feels like a close to an arc. So again, it's very hard for me to predict what's going to happen in the next episode. The only thing I can assume is that they're gonna meet up Glass's team. We'll see. Okay. That was episode 10 of Shield Hero. I'm having very ambivalent thoughts of it. On one hand, I liked it. I very much enjoyed meeting Glass and Lark and Therese again. I very much enjoy the characters they've become, especially Glass. I enjoyed, maybe not enjoyed, but I like the fact that Raphtalia is now a wielder of a vassal weapon. I really like it. She needed a power boost, and she got the best power boost she could have gotten, honestly. I am left wondering, the good kind of wondering, where I anticipated what what repercussions it's gonna have, right? What consequences? Because we know that jumping between worlds is not something that can be done willy-nilly. Then again, perhaps vassal heroes can jump between worlds willy-nilly. Lark, Therese, and Glass are able to jump between them. Naofumi needed some special permission from Ost. Maybe Raphtalia will be able to jump between worlds easily because she's a vassal hero, and the restrictions um not core heroes, of the big heroes, of the heroes proper, whatever you want to call them, I forgot the proper name, do not apply to her. That's possible. And I'm certainly looking forward to them gaining more power in new ways and to returning to their original world after gaining that power boost. Because they all did gain a power boost. Raphtalia, biggest of them all. And Naofumi also has a bunch of new shields that will hopefully carry over to his original world. Perhaps even the levels he gained here will compound on top of the levels he got there. I don't know how exactly it works. I'm just, wondering and speculating. It will put them so much further ahead of the rest of the heroes. Right? Like, Naofumi is already, and Naofumi's team are already much more powerful than the 3 other stooges combined. After this little excursion, they're just gonna be unstoppable. They will be able to solo every fucking wave. I'm looking forward to it. One more thing I'm looking forward to is them actually keeping their clothes. I like that they're finally getting new clothes. I know that it's very small thing, very, petty even. But first of all, I would hate for them to just waste these designs this good in favor of Naofumi's barbarian armor and Raphtalia's boring armor. I hope at least Raphtalia retains her kimono. And also, I'm a huge fan of visual progression when it comes to gaining power. One of the reasons why I stopped playing Black Desert Online was because the gear offered no visual progression. I liked everything else about the game, but I didn't like the fact that I could go from level 0 to level max and my character wouldn't change their appearance once. Because starter gear and max level gear look exactly the same. Like on your character. You can get skins for achievements and whatnot, sure, but the gear itself doesn't change the visual appearance, and I fucking hated that. And in anime, I very much appreciated when visual progression is something that is actually taken care of. It's actually something that happens, because let's be honest, there's a lot of anime, even very, very long-running ones, that have the main characters and everybody else around them just dress the same. You have like 200 episodes of something and everybody dresses the exact same all the time. Sometimes, very rarely, the main character gets a power boost and rips his shirt off and is now fighting shirtless. Or, I don't know, gets a new clothes 300 episodes into the series, and then until the end of the series he just uses the same clothes. I hate it. I know why it's done. Sure, you have the design and you make everything use that same design. I guess it cuts cost, it cuts effort, because you can technically reuse frames, reuse whole scenes and whatnot, but it's also an issue in manga, let's be honest here, where the characters look the exact same. The exact same in first chapter as they look in the last chapter. I would love for them to keep their new clothes. Anything else I need to mention? Also, yeah, I would very much like them all to grow closer together. I'm talking like Glass's team and Naofumi's team, for them to bond, to grow closer together, and to realize that maybe there's a third way. Maybe there's something we can do to keep both worlds alive. I'm assuming that Naofumi will be the first one to realize it. He has a very rough exterior, but he's a big softy at heart. So now that he witnessed this new world, this other world, and he met all those people of that world and experienced its culture and stayed there for this long of a time, he will have his qualms about destroying that world. He's not going to do that just like that without any thought put into it. And I hope this is where it's headed. It's headed towards either the merger of those two worlds or towards the destruction, getting rid of the waves themselves and the threat of the world destruction itself. What's gonna happen in the next episode? I don't know. Very hard to predict because today's episode very much closes and rounds out a certain arc. As I mentioned already, we know that the next episode will be about Kizuna, but what exactly? I don't know. Will the soldiers of this country try to imprison her again? Will it be about her meeting with Glass and talking about how cool Naofumi is? I don't know, but I'm honestly looking forward to it. I guess one thing that bears mention when it comes to this episode, I guess near the end the art was actually decent, but in the prison scenes, am I the only one who noticed just a little bit of a drop, a little bit of model? Then again, pretty much every episode has some off-model scenes, so it's probably nothing unusual for this season. Man, such a pity. Such a huge pity. You would have thought they get more budget after the success of the first season, but no, apparently the budget was cut. And all of that, even with delays. Jesus Christ. Okay, yeah, that's gonna be it. But you guys, you tell me down in the comments, what did you think of this episode, of my reaction, of my theories? Don't spoil me anything, I beg of you. If there is something in the source material that was skipped in this episode or glossed over or not explained fully, I'm gonna leave it at your discretion. If it actually fills some gaps, I will gladly hear it. If it's a spoiler, please keep it to yourself or head over to my Discord server. Link is here and link is also in the description. There's a Shield Hero channel there where you can use spoiler tags and talk about spoilers, and I'm not gonna read them, and everybody's going to be happy. Like this video if you liked it, disliked if you disliked it, but tell me why so I can improve. Subscribe to the channel to be notified of future releases. Not only Shield Hero, but also Skeleton Knight in Another World, Shokei Shoujo Virgin Road. If you like isekais, those two are pretty nifty. Symphogear G, that I have already concluded on Patreon. I've already seen episode 13. On YouTube right now, I believe you have episode 11 up. And Review Starlight is another non-seasonal show that I'm watching. And again, episode 10, I think, went up on Patreon, and episode 9 is up on YouTube. And also Spy X Family, another great show if you need a rest and if you need some fluffy, warm feelings. That's the perfect one. What else? If you want to support the channel, I mentioned it at the beginning, but I'm gonna mention it again. You can do that monetarily if you really like what I'm doing. Link to my Patreon is in the description. For $10 a month, you get early access to non-seasonal shows, like aforementioned Symphogear and Review Starlight. And for just $1 a month, you get a role on my Discord server, you get a place in the credits, and you get my eternal gratitude for supporting me. That's it? No. That's not it, because you can also support me without spending a dime by sharing my videos, spreading the word that my channel actually exists, spreading the word through the grapevine, through the word of mouth really helps channels grow. So share my videos, share my channel with your friends, with your family, with anybody who's willing to listen. I will be very, very grateful for that. Eventually, I'm gonna get my play button, and it will be thanks to you. And now, that's really gonna be it for me for today. So as always, you guys do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's the credits I mentioned. You can help expand the list.